Assalamu alaikum from me, Zahra Robinson. A new name, a new face, but still the same amazing show. Welcome to this week's An Nur the Light. Sadia Hendricks has been climbing the corporate ladder one step at a time. We caught up with her to find out what exactly gets her going. The world of PR and communication is often a cutthroat business, and it takes nerves of steel to stay the course. For Sadia Hendricks, it comes as part of the territory, as she's made her mark and is continuing her journey to the top.
My job at the moment is to handle the public relations for Carlson Desidor Hotel Group across Africa and the Indian Ocean. What my role entails is basically being a middleman between our head office in Brussels and the communicator with our hotels. So if there's any sort of corporate campaign or messaging that needs to go out through the hotels, it happens through me. But then it's also working very closely with the hotels in terms of their PR and marketing.
While growing up, Sadia had no real idea where she was going to end up, but a conversation with friends led her to enroll for a PR degree at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. She did an internship at one of the country's top PR companies and was offered a job as soon as this was done.
When I started my internship with Marcus Brewster Publicity in 2008, I sort of stayed with him for 7 years. I left once to join another PR agency just to broaden my horizons and see what else is out there. And the journey since has just sort of been progressing. My background was purely in PR agencies. So with Marcus Brewster, like I said, for 7 years. I joined another PR agency for 8 years after that, Magna Carta. And my first internal role was with Carlson Desidor Hotel Group.
After a chance encounter with one of her old clients, she was offered the role of PR and communications for a big hotel chain.
I met Sadia about 10 years ago when I first opened the Africa Development Office. And I went to Brussels, which is where our headquarters are. And after 6 months, they said, well, what did you need? And I said, actually, I need a PR budget and I need to employ a PR agency. And at the time, they agreed, and I appointed Marcus Brewster Publicity as our PR company. And Sadia had joined Marcus Brewster, so she was part of the support team, and the Radisson Hotel Group was a client. And a couple of years later, as our organization had grown and we had opened a dedicated Africa sort of support office with a bigger team, we realized that we were at a size and scale that we could actually have in-house PR. We didn't actually need to have an agency. And we were looking for somebody who had some hospitality experience, really had a good network from a PR point of view. And I managed to sort of track Sadia down again and say, listen, would you be interested in joining Radisson and being our in-house sort of running our PR sort of division? Since then, it's all been sort of a very, very good sort of success story.
Her decision to don her hijab to work has been met with interesting responses, but it became an opportunity to educate many people who inquired about it.
At the workplace, it's definitely come with a lot more questions. So I constantly get asked, you can see it in someone's eyes sometimes, like, but why? So I do get a lot of questions, but I've never sort of been harassed or felt humiliated reading it. But I think it's also just in that education that happens when someone asks you the question, just to put it into perspective for them and show them I'm not doing it because I'm oppressed or something like that.
The actual journalists from the newspapers, the owners, the investors that actually meet her, they're actually quite fascinated. The fact that she is a Muslim, that she's from Cape Town, she's got this headdress on which fascinates people. And if we were going to get a half-a-page story, she often comes back with a two-page spread.
Downtime for Sadia is spending time at home with her young family, where they can often be found baking in the kitchen.
So baking for me is a bit of an escape. I try to, now that my daughters are of an age where I can include them in it, I try to. I think Anya, who's older and almost 4, she loves it. So she likes to come and add in here and there. tries to sift with me, all of those things. Growing up, it was baking with my mother, with my aunt, with my cousins. That's sort of what we did when we all got together. And after that, I think when I got married, it just sort of was tending to my sweet tooth, also just trying to hone a bit of an amateur skill. And then also just late at night, it was just something to take my mind off work and everything else. And I do have a massive sweet tooth, so I think it was just catering to my own needs.
Sadia has proven that you don't always need to get where you're going, but once you've got an idea, do it to the best of your ability. To the many young people who are trying to figure this out, there is still time. As for Sadia, the world is her oyster, and there is still much more to come from this amazing woman. It's a bittersweet time here at An Nur as Mariam Kwanda, the former presenter of the show, gears up to become a mom. Mariam, we wish you all the best during this exciting time. Also exciting is our book, tech and app segment up next. Written by accredited coach Sadia Habib, Life Coaching for Muslims is a quintessential read for anyone interested in transforming their lives for the better. Using select verses from the Quran and sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Sadia has mapped out a simplified formula for creating positive changes for an empowered life. From goal setting to enhancing self-esteem, Life Coaching for Muslims provides spiritual wisdom to discover the best possible version of you. Want to create 5-star baked delights with ease? The Perfect Bake is the latest savvy device designed to make baking foolproof. The device is the combination of a real-time digital scale and free mobile app guiding users to baking perfection. Simply plug the device into your smartphone or tablet, select a recipe from the database and let Perfect Bake guide you through. From ingredient proportion control to timing, Perfect Bake ensures confectionery excellence every time. Perfect Bake comes with mixing bowls, a smart scale, a phone or tablet stand, an oven thermometer and hundreds of recipes to choose from or add to. The technology is compatible with iOS and Android. Preparing to pass a learner's test can be tedious and time-consuming. To streamline the process, why not try the K53 test app? Based on the official K53 manual, the app ensures over 200 multiple-choice questions and answers, ensuring an easy pass. Questions are categorized into 3 classifications: vehicle controls, rules of the road and road signs, which are reordered every time you complete a mock test. Practice and perfect your knowledge with the K53 test app. It does feel kind of strange for me to be sitting here presenting the show, as I've always been on the other side watching An Nur the Light every week. My journey in media has definitely been growing, and I hope to fulfill the legacy that other presenters have left behind. Talking about journeys, it's off to Johannesburg to tell the story of doulas. For this group of pregnant women, the journey to motherhood is almost over. While the process can be daunting, help is at hand in the form of a doula.
A doula is a non-medical person that assists mums during labor, during the birth process. Also, some doulas do prenatal care, postpartum care. So it all depends on the type of doula that you are. I'm a private birth doula where I attend different births in different hospitals. Where I do all natural pain coping techniques for the mums, exercises during the birth process. And then I do postpartum care, where I go in after the baby is born. I do belly binding, I weigh the baby, bath the baby, massage the mum. Just make sure that she's coping with becoming a new mum in her postpartum period.
Giving birth and then taking care of a newborn baby can be stressful, but doulas are making the process a whole lot easier.
For my birthing experience, I wanted something that was intimate, something that my husband and I could, could bond with together, something that we could enjoy. So that is why I took a doula on.
Sadia Sayed is one of a handful of qualified Muslim doulas. She's based in Johannesburg and has been practicing for the past 8 years.
A lot of the times we find that dads or family members are sort of ill-equipped with assisting mums during the process. So they hire extra care to help them with breathing, with natural pain coping technique. It's just that continuous positive support that doulas give to the mums that they find that they are benefiting from.
Very often, people mistake doulas for midwives, but this is not the case. They do, however, work hand in hand to ensure the pregnant mom gets the best care possible.
Our job mainly monitors our clients or the mums-to-be from the early stages of pregnancy into the pregnancy itself to define if they're low risk or high risk. And then at the time of birth, we deliver or we birth their babies. And then we see to them the 6 weeks after the birth, but it's a long-standing relationship. So the doula would meet with our clients antenatally to prepare them for birth itself. We discuss birth preparation. A lot of the thing is their birth preferences. So the doulas will look at the patient's preferences or birth plan, discuss that, and then also make sure that it follows through.
Doulas accompany expecting moms to the birthing clinic where they prepare for the process that is about to follow.
From the time they go into labor right up until they birth their baby can be like 6-7 hours long. So they feel like what should they be doing in that time, you know? And with having a doula there, then your doula would do all these natural pain coping techniques with you, like your exercises, your squatting, showing you how to use your birth ball, sort of get the labor going. So this is where the doula sort of fits in. Some mums also love laboring at home during the latent phase. So during the latent phase, their doula is with them at home, encouraging them to stay hydrated, getting their labor going in time to get to the hospital.
Previously, before I gave birth, I didn't know Sadia. So I more or less met her when the hospital had an open day. And from there, I took a liking to her, so I chose her as my doula. For me, it was the most amazing experience of my life. Having Sadia there to support me and my husband was phenomenal. She wasn't only a doula to us, but she was a therapist, she was a friend, she was a masseuse, she even fed us everything. She was just amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed myself actually giving birth with Sadia.
Studies show that having a doula can lessen the stress of giving birth by as much as 50%. It's not always possible to have family members or close friends around when giving birth, and the doula is fulfilling a much-needed role that also impacts on the health of the mom and the baby. Mariam, we know you're watching, and we've done that story just for you. Seeing that this is your first child, perhaps you'd want to consider a doula? Time now for our events calendar. The Warriors of Hope High Tea fundraiser in aid of patients and parents of Red Cross and other projects is an event for women who care. Surround yourself with inspiring women while enjoying a cup of tea and some scrumptious treats. For an afternoon of relaxation and mingling, get down to Alhambra Restaurant on 10 March 2018. Purchase your tickets from Nazreen. Details are on screen. Decorex comes to Durban this March in all its glory. Need a little inspiration for your interior and exterior spaces? Decorex has it all. Experience high-end exhibitors, workshops and demonstrations showcasing home trends and products at the forefront of their industries. The Durban Exhibition Centre is where it's all happening, and if it's time to redecorate your home, this is the place to be. The Rand Show is back with a bang, and this year during the holiday season. Bring the kids along to the fun fair, festival stage and animal kingdom while you sit back and relax and enjoy the garden, the home expos and outdoor lifestyle expos. You even get to experience India in the new feature at the Eastern Bridal Fair. The annual Islamic Medical Association convention takes place in Johannesburg this April. Look forward to guest speakers such as Sheikh Muhammad Nuruddin Limu and Sister Salatu Suli, amongst others. This year's theme is all about rediscovering the Muslim health professional and will provide some valuable content for healthcare workers in South Africa, drawing on experts from around the world. Enjoy a fun-filled family day at the Community Family Market at the Athlone Civic Centre on the 29th of April 2018. Over 60 local exhibitors showcasing toys, clothing, accessories, books, foods and so much more ensure there's something for the whole family. Competitions, prizes, self-defense demonstrations and entertainment are on offer, and it's all for a good cause. Contact Anisa Adams for store bookings and don't miss out on this opportunity to entertain the entire family. I love a full plate, and An Nur the Light is just that. Off to the Northwest Province now for this week's travel segment. There are many places in South Africa where we can observe as well as interact with wild animals, but some stand out more than others. One of the oldest and most important of these can be found in the Northwest Province.
The Ann van Dijk Cheetah Centre is one of the oldest cheetah centres in the country. It was started in 1971 by the amazing lady Ann van Dijk. And it's in the De Wild area here near Hartbeespoort Dam, and initially started to breed cheetahs as in the 70s they were starting to disappear. And unfortunately, we've seen that many other animals have also needed our help through the years. So Anne also started breeding wild dogs and assisting with vultures as well. And we've actually been able to release wild dogs back into the wild that were bred here, as well as start research on how we can release captive-born cheetahs back into the wild too.
Groups of people arrive daily to learn more about the pioneering work being done by the centre and to see the animals in action. One of its premier attractions is the Cheetah Run, something that has to be experienced firsthand.
Visiting the centre, apart from the amazing experience, by coming out on tour, you're supporting our centre, and we are a non-profit organisation. So we rely very heavily on support of public, and of course these guys need a lot of assistance sometimes with medical care and things like that. Shaka over here, for example, is 14 years old, so that's quite a lot older than what our cats get in the wild. And you can also then, when you come out to the centre, get a lot of information that you can share with other people, your friends and family, and help spread the word of conservation. We've just learned now that cheetahs they're experiencing numbers of less than 7,000 throughout the world. So they are far more endangered than what we realised. So it is important for us to get the conservation message out there.
For those brave enough, there's also a daily game drive where you get to see the cheetahs being fed right in front of your eyes. A visit here helps with our understanding of these fascinating creatures and assists the centre to continue doing great work in conservation. Finding halal food is very high on the list of the Muslim traveller, and lucky for them, there's a gem of a place in a small town called Brits. Their best-kept secret is the butter chicken that has locals coming back for more.
Butter chicken is a classical dish that originated in Delhi. It is chicken cooked in a rich, creamy sauce. I like to pre-marinate the chicken, preferably overnight, so that all the spices can pull through. The cooking time would be about 45 minutes.
The cafe may be small, but its delicious food has become really well known. Zainab's dad suggested for her to open up the business, and he has encouraged her every step of the way.
Initially, I had a workshop, and there was a different business in this shop here. And when they moved out, the thought came to my mind that, let me open something for my daughter. And one of the things that came to mind was a takeaway, because in Brits, halal takeaways are scarcity. And the ones we have, not everybody's ready to go there. There's controversy and reluctance of places like KFC and McDonald's. So I said, let's give it a go and see what happens.
Zainab's hands-on approach is also part of her success, and she remains committed to making every dish as best as she can. Stop by the next time you're in Brits. For those who've always wanted to fly, the Brits Flying Club is just the place to visit when in the Northwest Province. As one of South Africa's oldest flying clubs, it welcomes visitors to experience new heights, quite literally.
We're open to the public. We've got excellent facilities. We've got a 850-meter tall runway. We've got AFGAS on sale here for the public to fly in and to refuel. We've also got a nice clubhouse that serves a very nice breakfast and lunch. And the public is welcome to come say hi and have a cup of coffee, or just to come refuel, or to come meet with us.
Safety remains paramount to all those who participate in this experience.
If you're medically fit enough to fly, obviously there's a medical requirement. Anybody can fly. Gliding is an absolute art. It's a skill. Although you've got exactly the same disciplines as with an aeroplane. Aeroplanes is just that you can open up power and fly. But it's safer. It's much safer than any motorized sport of any sort. It's a challenge between you and yourself. It's a challenge between you and nature. It's just beautiful.
Getting back down to earth won't erase the high of flying amongst the clouds, but it may lead to an addiction that needs to be fulfilled. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun here, but like you, it's also an opportunity for me to learn a lot more about Islam and the Muslim community of South Africa. Well, that's it for my first show. The nerves have been hulled and I can finally go home and relax. Shukran for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum from me, Zahra Robinson.